Erikson was a German-American psychoanalyst who made major contributions to the field of psychological development. Namely, Erikson is famous for his ideas around the psychosocial development across the lifespan. More specifically, he proposed that each stage of life is linked to a specific psychological struggle. Erikson theorized that personality develops in predetermined stages from infancy to adulthood. Erikson's theory has personal roots. He never knew his own father and was raised by his mother and stepfather. He never felt fully accepted by his stepfather, and he struggled with his identity throughout his youth. After meeting Anna Freud, a psychologist and daughter of Sigmund Freud, while working in Vienna, he decided to pursue the field of psychoanalysis. Erikson impacted psychological theories greatly by expanding on Freud's original 5 stages of development beyond childhood and into adulthood, thus pioneering the study of the human lifespan. Erikson believed that each person progressed through 8 stages of development throughout their life. During each stage, a person experiences a psychosocial crisis that could positively or negatively affect their personality development. In Erikson's theory, each stage of psychosocial development focused on a central conflict. Erikson argued that people don't automatically complete each stage. Their growth depends on how they are able to handle these conflicts. These stages are psychosocial because they involve the psychological needs of the individual conflicting with the needs of society. Now, let's get into Erikson's 8 stages of psychosocial development. You will notice that each of these stages has a positive and negative verses. These are referred to as basic conflicts. Each stage ideally has a positive outcome. This positive outcome results in a healthy personality and the acquisition of basic virtues. Basic virtues are characteristic strengths that the ego can use to resolve crises. Negative outcomes result in stagnation, unhealthy personality, and low sense of self. Basic trust versus mistrust is the first stage in this theory. This stage occurs during infancy. During this stage, a baby is uncertain about the world they live in and looks towards their primary caregiver for stability and consistency of care. Developing basic trust depends on whether the baby gets reliable, nurturing, sensitive, and present care. This basic trust results in the child feeling secure and resilient, even in the midst of uncertainty. On the other hand, if the caregiver fails to provide consistent and adequate care and affection, this could lead to a belief in an inconsistent world, leading to feelings of anxiety, mistrust, and suspicion. Success in this stage leads to the virtue of hope. Through developing a basic sense of trust, the baby can have hope that as new crises arise, they will have a reliable source of support. The second stage of his model is autonomy versus shame and doubt, and it occurs during early childhood between 18 months and 3 years of age. Erikson notes that children at this stage are focused on developing a sense of personal control over physical skills, as well as developing a sense of independence. In this stage, children can either develop shame or competence and independence. To develop autonomy, children must be encouraged and supported in their increased independence, resulting in increased confidence and security in their ability to survive. If children are instead shamed and overly criticized, they may doubt their abilities and feel ashamed of their autonomy. With support in their independence, children become confident and secure in their own ability to survive in the world. This third stage of initiative versus guilt occurs during the play age, ages 3 through 6. In this stage, Erikson posits that children develop a sense of initiative if they are able to explore their environments and discover they are able to do things on their own through directing play and engaging in other social interactions. If a child is made to feel guilty about making their own choices, the child will develop a sense of guilt rather than initiative. Success at this stage leads to the virtue of purpose. With purpose, children develop a sense of initiative and feel secure in their ability to lead others and make their own decisions. Erikson's fourth stage of industry versus inferiority occurs during school age, from 5 to 12 years old. In this stage, children start to compare themselves with their peers to gauge their abilities and worth. In this comparison, a child either develops a sense of industry and work ethic or feelings of inadequacy. To develop industry, parents and teachers must encourage children to develop their skills and use their skills to complete tasks. This leads to a sense of confidence in their abilities. On the other hand, if children receive negative feedback or are not allowed to, encouraged to demonstrate their skills, they develop a sense of inferiority, feeling that they aren't as good as their peers. Success in this stage leads to the virtue of competence. Erikson's fifth stage of identity versus role confusion occurs during adolescence from 12 to 18 years of age. During this stage, teens may have an identity crisis. They search for a sense of self and personal identity. This is done through an intense exploration of personal values, beliefs, and goals. If they are allowed to explore the world, they'll develop their own identities, but if they are punished for autonomy, they may develop role confusion. If teens are supported in their exploration, they develop a strong sense of self and a feeling of independence and control. If they are restricted and develop role confusion, this could mean they become unsure about their place in the world. Success in this stage results in the virtue of fidelity. Teens who develop a strong sense of identity can maintain consistent values even with societal shifts. They are also able to accept others even when there are ideological differences. In this sixth stage, Erikson explores the development of young adults ages 18 through 40. This stage of intimacy versus isolation marks the development of strong friendships and healthy, intimate relationships which help people to develop intimacy. However, people who fail at this task may become isolated. Through developing intimacy, young adults are able to be open and share oneself with others, as well as have the willingness to commit to relationships and make personal sacrifices for the sake of these relationships. On the other hand, if they are unable to form meaningful, intimate relationships with others, this could lead to feelings of loneliness, alienation, and exclusion. Successfully navigating this stage develops the virtue of love. Individuals who develop this virtue have the ability to form deep and committed relationships based on mutual trust and respect. This seventh stage is generativity versus stagnation and takes place during middle adulthood, ages 40 to 65 years. During this stage, individuals focus more on building their lives, primarily through careers, families, and contributions to society. People who develop a sense of purpose, whether from parenting, hobbies, or a career, excel during this period, but those who find no purpose or value in their activities may experience stagnation. Developing generativity involves concern for others and the desire to contribute to future generations. Stagnation involves feeling unproductive and uninvolved, leading to self-absorption, lack of growth, and feelings of emptiness. Successfully navigating this stage develops the virtue of care. Individuals who develop this virtue feel a sense of contribution to the world and feel satisfied that they are making a difference. The eighth and final stage of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development is ego integrity versus despair, and it takes place during old age, or approximately age 65 until death. Erikson suggested that during this time humans contemplate their accomplishments and can develop integrity if they see themselves as leading a successful life. People may look back on their lives fondly or feel an overpowering sense of regret and despair. Ego integrity is characterized by a sense of acceptance of their life as it was, the ability to find purpose in experiences, and a sense of wisdom and fulfillment. On the other hand, despair involves feelings of regret, bitterness, and disappointment with one's life, and a fear of impending death. Success in this stage will lead to the virtue of wisdom. Wisdom enables a person to look back on their life with a sense of closure and completeness, and also accept death without fear. In today's world, Erikson's framework provides a useful guide for mental health providers treating patients with major life and developmental adjustments and challenges. With his theory, healthcare providers are also able to deliver targeted interventions to resolve developmental conflicts.